Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and today I want to talk about Travis. Where in the world is Travis Willingham? And when do I think he's going to show up in Campaign 3? I have a few ideas. Well, mainly just one that I like a lot, so I'm going to talk about it. So the first thing to get out of the way is he is coming back. I've seen quite a few people online, on my channel, on Twitter, on the Twitch chats, which I try to avoid, but I've seen quite a few people say they don't think he is coming back and that Robbie is permanently taking his seat. Wrong. Matt and Travis have both made it very public that he wanted to come in later and that he will be returning. There's a handful of tweets from both of them saying exactly this. So for those worried, he is coming back. So now I want to talk about who Travis could be. This is a popular theory. I'm sure you've probably seen it. But I am of the strong opinion that he is the Anger. Oshad Breshio. Yeah. I like this idea quite a bit. I think Matt has built up this character through Orem and now through other people like Esteros and the, attack that's been going, like the story of the attack that's been going around. This character's been built up quite a bit, and if you're going to have a player come in late, and it be planned that he's coming in late, building him up so he joins, that's a pretty big deal, and I think it's totally what they're going for. Not to mention, when the campaign started, everyone came in groups. Orem and the EXU cast came together, Laudna and Imogen were together, and FCG and Ashton were together. The only one who was by himself was Bertrand. And now, because they're building a connection through Orem's quest being to find this guy, that'll be his connection into the group as a player. It always felt that Bertrand was on the outside, but since Orem is going after this guy specifically, I think that'll be his way inside, and to be not an awkward cog that's been added to this whole machine. I think it'll feel great, fit perfectly to the group, and I think another reason why he hasn't shown back up yet is because they're trying to get the rest of the cast up to level 5. And that's where I think the Anger sits in level. And that's what I think Matt is doing right now, getting the rest of the cast up to the same level as the Anger, as well as building up the Anger's backstory at the same time, giving everyone a chance to grow in both level and in their own backstory and letting themselves to breathe before adding in an 8th cog, but also allowing this character to be built up on the sideline, and then when we do meet him, we get to learn a whole lot more about him. And finally, when do I think he's going to show up? If I had to put a number on it, I would like to see him show up at some point in the next session, session 7, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's very likely that we'll see him maybe episode 8, episode 9, and maybe even episode 10 to give them that much more time to build up to level 5. That being said, I don't know how long a lot of us, the fans, are going to be able to sit and wait for Travis. There was a ton of people in the first episode pissed that Travis didn't show up until about halfway through the first combat, which was about, I think, an hour and a half into the first broadcast. And, I can imagine that's happening on regularly every broadcast since then, or since Bertrand Bell has died. Where is he? To the point where he had to literally tweet out, like I mentioned earlier, that he will be back eventually, just not yet. And personally, Travis is my favorite player on the whole group. Ford is my favorite character, and Grog is one of my favorite characters that he's made. And I think for a lot of people, they feel the same way, and they want to see Travis as soon as possible. That being said, I don't want to set my expectations until at least episode 8. I feel like that is a reasonable spot for him to come in, and for everyone else to get to level 5. To fit my theory, anyway. So, I think Travis is Oshad Breshio, the Anger. I think he's level 5, and I think we're going to see him around episode 8, and in between episode 8 to 10 is when I think would be when Matt would want to introduce him, so that way everyone's level 5, and it's all nice and cohesive, and it doesn't feel awkward, and this way he has a connection, unlike Bertrand, who just kind of ran into combat to help everyone. I feel like this will fit really nicely with everything else that's been going on this campaign, and I really like the idea. Now, of course, he could literally show up as anything else. If I were to have him fit my original prediction of him being a thief or some sort of rogue, he could literally be a part of the Hanbat Corsairs if he wanted to, which I thought was actually what he was going to be initially, a member of that, but he didn't. And I think he could also just be some random sellsword that gets hired by Esteros at some point as well. But those would be, in my opinion, far lamer than if he was the Anger, a character who's been built up. The only thing that has me a little hesitant on this Anger being Travis's character is the name. I don't think that name, Oshad Brescio, fits very well with Travis's very simple names that he's given, Ford and Grog. I don't think that even Bertrand is a simple name compared to a lot of other characters' names. So I don't know if Oshad necessarily fits his naming, but that's a small little tweak, and maybe that's not actually his real name. You never know. So, thank you for watching. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think Travis is going to be when he shows up? Do you agree? And do you think he's going to be Oshad Brescio? If not, tell me how stupid I am in the comments. Please. I like seeing that stuff.